Katana number 10, written by Ann Nocenti, art by Cliff Richards and Alex Sanchez. This is the final issue. And do you think they're going to wrap up all their plots? No. Anyway, last issue, I think it ended with Mona Shard, this little girl possessed by a ghost, lunging after Katana, saying, "I dare you to kill this little girl." And then this issue just picks up with Shun the Untouchable, who's currently wearing makeup to hide her tattoos. She's making a flower delivery to a Dagger Clan hideout, and immediately she gets in, shows that the flower delivery is actually a gun, and she's like, or sorry, it's a Sword Clan hideout. She's like, "Oh, you all tattooed my bodies. You're responsible for this. And so I'm here to exact my revenge. And all of you say never bring a gun to a sword fight. Here's my gun. Good luck with that." And she's literally firing upon all of them. And like, none of them die. Like, they're all just fine because she's like, "Oh, I have a special request for you for who you need to contact and tell like that I'm coming for him." So she's firing on these people with a gun and they're all just cool. So then we come back to Katana and she's kind of like shell shocked. She's like, "What? Where am I? What's going on?" And she thinks back and she's like, "Right. I was in a toy store and then Mona Shard was there and yeah, well, she lunged after me and I didn't kill her. I wasn't able to kill a child." And also Sickle, he knew that Mona was a child and yet sent me after her to kill her. And that's just unforgivable for me. There's no way that I could ever be in a relationship with Sickle because my dead husband's always going to come between us. So at that point, the police show up and she's like, "Police? Jesus, they were fast. Wait a minute. Hold on. How long was I out?" So at that point, we see, what's his name? Junko, the drunk. Turns out he's an undercover cop. And he's like, "Katana, we got to get you out of here." And she's like, "What? Hold on. You're a cop?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was deep undercover. We were trying to figure out stuff about like the Dagger Clan and the Sword Clan because they were, too high and mighty. They were working on stuff underground that was not okay. And then it was just a happy accident that you stumbled into my life and I was able to work with you." Meanwhile, this magic falcon's flying around them constantly. I swear to God, I'm giving you as much information as I have, but like it barely makes any sense to me either. So at that point, Junko's like, "Yeah, okay, don't worry about the Sword Clan stuff. Like, that'll just wrap itself up. We're dealing with that. You need to deal with the Ghost Warriors. Remember when the ghosts escaped from your broken sword? You got to go deal with them." And she's like, "Right, cool, awesome." And then an apple rolls in front of her and she picks it up and says, "I'm hungry." Does it come back? No, but it happens. So at that point, she remembers, "Oh, right, Shun was around. She was a sniper. I need to figure out where she's gone. So help me out finding her." So we see Shun is using the flower delivery stuff to get to where I believe Sickle is, if I'm correct. I don't know. So he's going to some place where there's a Sword Clan hideout and just like, oh, sorry, it's Coil. Going to Coil. And is like, "Okay, I'm coming here. I'm going to kill him," because Coil was the one who actually like instructed the tattoo people on what to tattoo onto my body. So he's the one who must pay the most. Then we see the sumo wrestler who is possessed by a ghost is making other sumo wrestlers make him a weapon of a very strong lance. And he says, I will kill the Soul Taker sword's owner and blah, blah, blah." And apparently he sees himself as a envoy of war, and you can't kill war. So then Katana meets up with the Falcon guy. And the Falcon's flying around and like swooping at her. And the Falcon's like, "Hey, you gotta like attack the bird. Like try to swing your sword at the bird." And she's like, "I'm not going to be able to hit that." And just be like, "Well, do it anyway." And it makes some sort of like comparison to swinging at a bullet. I don't know. It barely makes sense. So at that point, Coil sneaks up on Shun and she turns around and just unloads gunfire on him. This time it actually does damage to him. She shoots him between the legs and she says, "Hey, I brought my own tattoo gun and I've thought a long time about what I'm going to tattoo on your corpse. And I've decided upon the word liar because you're a liar. You suck, Coil." And then Katana shows up and says, "Hey, wait a minute, Shun, don't shoot him. That's not what you need to do. apparently has nothing to do with the fact that she doesn't want Coil dead, like out of morals or ethics. It's because she wants to know why Coil tattooed Katana onto Shun's body. So Shun says, no, I have to do this. And she starts unloading on Katana. Katana manages to literally swing through the bullets because of her training with the Falcon. And then she lodges her sword inside of Shun's gun. Shun still tries to fire it. It backfires. And then Katana pushes her out of the way, saving her life. Then the sumo wrestler shows up and says, Katana, I am here for you. And the crazy-ass falcon bird that has had this glow around it the whole time swings down, and turns out it is possessed with Masayo's soul. So the falcon's lets go of Masayo's soul. It goes into the sumo wrestler's body, freezes him long enough for Katana to plunge her sword inside of him, and not only capture the sumo wrestler's soul, like the war soul, but also Masayo. And so Shun's like, my God, your husband died for you again. That is such an intense love. I can't imagine it. And Junko, who's now just there, is like, what will you do now, Katana? And she says, oh, well, the Creeper and Mona Shard are still out there, so I guess I'll take care of them. And then it says the end. Oh my God, I hated this book from beginning to end. Just everything about it was incomprehensible. It felt like there was never any sort of focus. And even by the time we hit this final issue, every page is just something totally different. We just keep on jumping to something totally separate. Of oh, now she's fighting a bird. Now this sumo wrestler's making a weapon. Now we're seeing Shun take on a gun in order to kill Coil. And it's the moment that Coil's not even taken care of. I don't even know what happened to Coil. He's just bleeding out in a corner. Oh my God. I hated this. 3.5. And it's the art's fine. The art's okay. And at least we've set up a few plots that we did actually wrap up. But the fact that Masayo's soul was just in a bird and then just randomly swooped down and got captured again. It's why? Why would you do that? No, the more I think about it, the lower the score's getting. So I'll keep it at a 3. It's at a 3. But just know if I kept it being able to just pick on every single issue, this would hit a 0 eventually. God, this series was awful. Do not read.